Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Oldish TV. As always, I am your host, Karen Brown, and it is my pleasure to welcome you here for another edition of our show. I believe this is episode 136, so we've done this for a while. And to those of you who have been with us from the beginning, thank you so much. For those who are brand new to our show, a special welcome, and I hope that you'll find the content engaging and you'll want to stay with us. Today, I'm going to talk with you about a project that I've been giving bits and pieces about over the last few weeks, I suppose, and that is the establishment of a production company called Reno Studios. And just this past weekend, we shot the pilot episode of Real Life Renos. I am beyond excited to tell you about it. It was just such a thrilling experience. Reno Studios and Real Life Renos is something that has been born of the engagement that I have had with all of you through our website at the Oldish. I'll show you where that is. You can find over 2,000 articles now on that website about everything having to do with aging, from oldish living to caregiving and long-term care and all the way through to death. Lots and lots of information and articles. You just go there and you search whatever subject it is you're interested in, and something will pop up. There's tons of stuff there. But one thing that really kept coming up over and over again was independence. And I've always been a huge advocate of being proactive about your life. I believe that people should be as proactive as they possibly can be. And the idea that people want to stay living in their own homes for as long as they possibly can is something that has been something of a recurring theme, not only in terms of how we've talked about the subject, but the messages I get from you. Everybody wants to stay in their own homes and be independent as long as possible. However, the information about how to do that and where to go to find that has been something of a mystery. You kind of don't know where to go unless you've already been there, and things are changing very quickly. There really is a ton of information, but you need to know what door to knock on. I decided to create a door to knock on, and that's what I've done. Real Life Renos is our video and our podcast series. I'll tell you all about how they are linked together in just a moment, but let me start by telling you about our shoot day on Sunday. So exciting. This has been something of a dream for about 3 years. So the fact that it was finally able to come true on Sunday was beyond words. I was just, I think, grinning all day long. We had a fantastic crew. The place where we shot is a rental unit development. They are, if you picture townhouses, five in a row, it's kind of what they are, only they're apartments, really. They're about, I think, 700, 800 square feet each, banks of five. The builders have built two of them that are now occupied. This third one is in the process of being built. They hope it'll be finished by December and occupied by January. However, the one end unit is completely accessible. They actually went to the trouble of hiring an accessibility strategist who was our guest on the show. I'll tell you about her too in a second. But they hired this strategist to work with them and show them how to make this unit completely accessible. So everything from stepless entry to curbless showers, and um, the positioning of plugs and switches, and where things needed to go, how big things needed to be to allow for a wheelchair to move about comfortably. They took care of all of that. So we shot there on Sunday. It is still under construction. The vapor barrier is up and it's insulated, but the drywall is not up. The appliances and cupboards and such aren't in. We're going to go back in December when they finish the unit, and we're going to shoot there again when it's completely done so that we can show you essentially the before and the after. We're hoping that by then it is leased and we might have a chance of meeting the tenant. We'll see. Depends on where they come from and how comfortable they are getting in front of the camera. I did scoop a couple of videos for you I intended to do a lot more video while I was there, but it turns out that when you're in every single scene, as I was, it's pretty difficult to film stuff. So let me show you a couple of these videos that I got. Here's one of them, and this was the drone. We started off with a drone shot of the project. And so it begins. There's the drone and the drone operators. So these are the drone operators who were also our videographers, Jason and Deb. And this young fellow over here is Liam. He was the intern, but he was doing audio for us on Sunday. So that's him. Now we go over to the other side and I'll show you this one.
Yes, yeah.
Strategy meeting about the closing.
Probably Karen will be doing more of the walking, but I get what you mean.
Karen's going to be doing what?
More of the walking.
More of the walking? Probably. So this gentleman in the burgundy shirt is Bob. He's our director. And then Jason, you see our videographer. He was the drone operator. And so those are the folks who were involved in the crew. They were absolutely wonderful to work with. Everybody was so engaged with the whole idea behind what Real Life Renos is. So as I explained to you, it came out of engagement with people like you, but really when you start looking into the issues and what the needs are, you start looking at people who are over 50 and probably need to look at doing renovations to their home that make their home a friendlier place if they intend to be there for a long time. And the reality is that only about 5% of people will ever live in long-term care. So, where do you want to live? And can you fashion your home such that it will work with you instead of against you and make it a friendly place to be? So that's, the over 50 population needs to start thinking about that. Then you look at people who are born with neurological conditions. You look at people who have progressive diseases. You look at people who have traumatic events happen in their life, and it happens, car crashes, diving accidents, people fall off horses, people are involved. I have an acquaintance whose son was shot in the States. Terrible situation, but the son is now in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. These kinds of statistics mean that something close to 50% of our population falls into one of those categories. That doesn't even take into account caregivers who need homes that work with them as they are giving care, because it's very easy, all too easy, in fact, for caregivers to be hurt along the way as they are delivering care with the lifting that they have to do and all the duties that they have to perform. It's very taxing, and it is not uncommon at all for caregivers to become very ill and in fact to pass away before the people to whom they are giving care. So it's an all-encompassing idea. Add into that people, young parents with strollers and a massive baby equipment. I've been there. It's a lot. If you have ever tried to deliver furniture to a home as you're moving, I've been there too. Trying to get a couch through a door that is a standard width and has multiple steps to get up to it. It's very difficult. So what if you had a stepless home? What if you had a 40-inch door? Why can't we? We can. We just don't think of it. But we can. They exist. And there's a 40-inch door in that unit that we were at. We measured it, 40 inches right on. So, there are all kinds of people that would be helped or better supported if they lived in environments that worked with their needs. That is what Real Life Renos is all about. So you don't have to be an older adult. You can be a younger adult who maybe has older adults coming to visit, or a younger adult who maybe has some kind of a condition that means that you need some assistance to live. And if you could live more independently, life would be better. I have a daughter who has a soccer injury and it's her sciatic nerve. She gets sciatica the odd time. It flares up. And I have a friend who is in her 40s who had a bout of sciatica, not from a soccer injury. She has no idea why, but for a couple of months, it was really tough for her to move around. And just trying to step over that little lip into the shower was beyond painful for her. What if there was a curbless shower? Well, it exists. It's very common in Europe, in South America. That's how they build their showers. Why don't we? I don't know. We should. Real Life Renos will show you how, and we will educate you on the language so that you and your contractor are speaking the same language. The crew that we worked with on this was absolutely fantastic. Bob Breen from Armor Pro was our director, and um, his intern came with us, who was fantastic. You saw him in the picture. Liam is his name, Liam Morley, and he did audio. He's a graduate of OEART, which is what, the Ontario Institute of Recording Technology. So he was trained in audio. So he did our audio for us. The videographers, Jason and Deb, fascinating people. They have had quite a life. Adventures all over the place. They were once the official photographers for the Prime Minister's office. So they've traveled all over the world with one of our former prime ministers. Jason was embedded in Afghanistan. They now spend time filming polar bears and doing tours to show people like me and you polar bears up close. Not too close, maybe. Anyway, they are fascinating people, but everybody on the crew had a story that they could relate to. A parent, a colleague, a friend, somebody who needed this sort of I wouldn't even call it technology. It's more, a lot of it is common sense. It's just common sense. Anyway, they were fantastic. Our guest star on this episode was Julie Sawchuk. Now, Julie was a high school biology teacher, very athletic. And one day when she was 41, which was about 5 years ago, she was out riding her bike and she was hit by a car. As a result, she is paralyzed from the chest down. She's a powerhouse. Let me tell you, instead of feeling sorry for herself, she has turned all of that energy and the knowledge she gained into being an amazing advocate for people who are in situations such as the one that she finds herself in. She's written 3 books, she's written a course, she was the consultant to this project. She received her certification from the Rick Hansen Foundation. Anybody who is Canadian knows who Rick Hansen is. But the Rick Hansen Foundation offers a course. It is that course that Julie was certified in. And she now is able to strategize with commercial enterprises as they build venues to do them better, to benefit people. She's amazing. You can watch her. Now, every episode will have somebody different on it. We're doing 2 pilots, actually. This was the first one, and Julie was our guest. Our second one will have a different guest. And you know, there are so many people working in this industry, not nearly enough, but I'm coming to know more and more of them. Some of them are consultants. Some of them are contractors who have gained certifications in various ways and know how to do this stuff. Some of them will be bureaucrats who work with organizations that develop the kinds of technologies that we need to use in redefining what a home can look like. A lot of really interesting people. So, what is this ultimately going to look like? Well, as I said, the production company is called Reno Studios. We're in the process of developing a website called renostudios.com. It will be an overarching place where you can go and find our links to the Oldish. It will be there. You can still get to the Oldish independently. It'll just give you a link so that you see how everything is linked under Reno Studios. The Oldish, our product-based division, which is Brown Healthcare, and that is primarily concerned with fall and injury prevention, which is my roots in this business. Hip protectors, head protectors, wound care. So that is the products-based division. There are some assistive devices as well that we sell. We can pretty much get our hands on anything that anybody needs. So, they'll be linked through there so that you see those. Reno, RenoStudios.com will also have links to our videos that we produce for Real Life Renos. This is not a network TV show. This is something that will be available to you on the internet, so free. Yay. We are hoping to find sponsors because producing a show in the quality level that we want to present is expensive. So we're looking for sponsors, but it'll be for you. Every episode will have with it a companion podcast. So for this podcast, for the first pilot that we've shot, our podcast guest will be Julie Sachek, and we will talk to her more about the work that she is doing. We'll talk about the 3 books she's written. We'll talk about the course that she's done. We'll talk about her story a bit. And one of the really interesting points that she brought forward during our shooting. I'm not sure it'll make the editorial cut, but we will see. We shot a lot of video, so we'll see what we have room for. But I will tell you that she talked about energy as a primary driver for everything that she does. If she has a house that works with her instead of against her, she has more energy to do the things that she wants to do. So providing her with an easier way to do the things that she has to do leaves her with more energy to do the things that she wants to do, like spending time with her family, as a for instance. She has 2 teenage children. She has a husband named Theo. They're a very busy family, as every family is, of course. So Julia will talk to us on the podcast about all of that. I do hope that this production will be available for you to actually see roughly January of 2021. So I don't know when we're shooting the second pilot yet, but I'll let you know when that happens as well, because this whole process just absolutely fascinates me. Talking to these people and seeing the innovation that's out there, watching how such things can make such a huge difference in people's lives. I can tell you, I've been in Julie's home several times now. She's been able to build a completely accessible home. It's a ranch all on one level. You walk in there, you would never know that it was an accessible home. You'd have no idea. And that's the thing I think that most people are afraid of, is that if they make their home accessible, it will somehow look institutional. It doesn't. It doesn't have to. Let me put it that way. If you do your homework and you take advantage of the products that are out there, and we'll show you how to find them, your home will look like everybody else's home. It will just work better for you. So there you go. That is our adventure that we had on Sunday shooting our pilot. And as I said, I am beyond thrilled. It was everything. It was just everything. This wonderful crew, the wonderful cast, the story, the builders that were there too. I should not go without mentioning them, Aaron and Gary. They were both there, and they were both part of this episode, explaining the things that they did and why they did it. And at the end, they told us that this whole experience has been inspirational for them, and they will definitely do it again. They're very accustomed to building things for aging seniors, but to go that extra step, now that they have seen the difference that it can make to people of all ages, they definitely want to do more. So there you go. I'll let you know when that episode is available for you to view. I'll post links. Don't you worry about it. Until then, I will see you next Wednesday at 12 noon for another edition of The Oldish TV. I hope you'll be well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Enjoy these beautiful fall days, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 12 noon. Take care of one another, and remember that it does take a village to age a senior. Bye, everybody.